Welcome to Three and Out. I'm Jason. That's Kevin. We are brought to you by CincyJungle.com, SB Nation's Cincinnati Bengals website. We are sponsored by Eastgate Smiles Dental Care. We are on the Orange and Black Insider on YouTube, the YouTube channel that is affiliated with CincyJungle.com. It's not just YouTube, it's podcasts. Everywhere you get a podcast, Orange and Black Insider's on there. It's a lot of great stuff. It's Chalk Talk. It's Coach Speak. It's OBI. It's Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. It's us. There's new stuff every day. Check it out. Subscribe. Follow. A lot of good stuff. Follow Kevin on Twitter. Follow myself on Twitter. Whatever. Yeah.
I've pretty much given up on Twitter. I mean, I'll post an opinion every now and then, but
it's exhausting.
Kind of just it's so tiring.
It is.
Not that it's good for news, it's good for updates.
Yeah.
If you're like, there's no better place to like get Bengals news, but I just don't want to argue with everyone all the time.
I know, but like the reality of it is, it's like the trade deadline.
Yes,
coming up.
I'm refreshing Twitter.
That's the app. Yeah, you're not Googling or whatever. That's Twitter. That's the fastest place. So
yeah, I'm just not posting. I'm just a lurker at this point, pretty much.
And then what is it? So on the trade deadline, like what name or names are you looking for? Like you're not going to believe it unless it's. Are you like a Schefter purist?
No,
are there a lot of other people's you're looking for?
Schefter, yes, but Goodberry, especially if you subscribe, he's kind of had the inside scoop on one or two trades that may happen. I do think the Locked On guys. I like James Rapine.
Yeah.
As far as breaking news is concerned, the thing is if you're literally not updating every 3 minutes, it doesn't really matter where the news comes from. By the time anyone drops it, everyone else has retweeted it, and it's like, well, who do you trust? Well, I trust the 15 Twitter sources I read back to back because I was working. And I went to the bathroom and had 5 minutes to check my phone. And I was I guess this dropped.
Right. I trust a handful of people that would that if they retweet something, then I'll look into it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know where I get most of my Bengals news, and I'm assuming where you get most of your Bengals news? I think from each other, because when I get Bengals news, the first person I text, I was like, hey, did you hear this? Like when... Funny story, the first episode of the show was supposed to be filmed on a certain night. We ran into technical issues. We're like, hey, we're going to pull the plug. And you called me like 5 minutes later, and you're like, oh, my God, they just signed Orlando Brown Jr. I was like,
it was like 11 or 11:30
No, they didn't. Yeah. So we got to talk about that the next day on the show. It was fun. Anyway.
Yeah, it would have been a bad intro episode where we don't even talk about the biggest move in the offseason.
Yep. All right, so the Bengals are coming out of the bye week, 3-3. They went 1-3 to start the season for the second year in a row, 0-2 in the division, and then they've won 2 of the last 3, and now they are, they're 3-3. Whatever, my math's awful.
Yeah.
Either way, they're on a roll. They've won their last 2 games in a row. They're 3-3. This is what we said they needed to do to save their season after that start. Yep. Get to the bye and be 3-3. And now I feel like that's 0-0. They're on the bottom, but they're not out of it. When the Ravens are 5-2 or whatever they are, they're at least 2.5 games behind or whatever, but they're not out of it.
No. They have stabilized, but now the climb has to start. We got to start going back up. And this would be a statement game as far as proving that we're back.
Yes, it absolutely would. So, they've won 2 games in a row. They go on their bye week. They're about right now. They're as healthy as they're going to be. At this point in the season.
Burrow said he's 100% or close enough too. So the excuses are
Higgins,
gone.
Right, you got Higgins who's banged up, and now the offense at this point in the season with this schedule, the offense needs to hit the ground running, or you can call it quits. They lose the next game or two. It's done. Trash it. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
I don't like being in this spot. It feels like we're constantly moving the goalposts, but that kind of is just what football is. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they got to win this one or it's done. We've been saying they got to win this one or it's done for weeks now. But unfortunately, when you start the season like the Bengals did, and they have their reasons, like I'm not even upset about it anymore. It is what it is. But when you start the season like the Bengals did, for a while, every game is going to have some level of we got to win it. We have to win it. Until we at least climb out of this deficit. We get up to, 6-4, 7-5. Like, we need a little bit of a buffer before every loss isn't a little bit panic-inducing.
I know, and I don't think they're going to get that until they start a season the right way. That's just a fact. They're just not going to get that. So the funny thing is they've won the last 2 games in a row. They're 3-3, but during their bye week, every single AFC North team won.
The refs won, you mean?
Yes. In one case, the refs won. So
I'm starting to put my tinfoil hat on this one. We don't need to get into it, but I'm starting to get my tinfoil hat on about these refs, dude.
Hey,
it is starting to get like blatant, like egregious. It really is. It's affecting my ability to like enjoy football.
You're not the only one that thinks that way. But because they won, the hole the Bengals are in is just a little bit deeper, right?
Sure.
Now, there's still a lot of season left, and they are still very much in control of their own destiny. They went out, and they go 14-3. You guarantee they win the division. There's no one else going to stop them, right? So they're still very much in control because there are teams at this point in the season that are not in control. You know what I mean? There are teams, the Bengals 2-4 at this point, or 1-5. I'd say I don't know if they're in control. Probably not.
No, at that point,
maybe for a wild card spot, but not the division. So they're still very much alive. And the 49ers, right? So the Bengals 2-game win streak, go into the bye, get healthy. 49ers win a bunch of games, and then go up to Cleveland and lose, and then go to Minnesota. Here's our bounce back game. Nope, lose that game. Now they're coming home unhealthy. So
Debo Samuel, Brock Williams.
Debo Samuel's already out. Trent Williams may or may not play. It sounds like it's going to be a game time decision. He's not practicing. It should be said that his backup played pretty well on no sacks. I think he gave up 2 pressures, whatever. But his backup wasn't facing Trey Hendrickson, which we'll get to that. So, and Brock Purdy, maybe most important, their quarterback is in concussion protocol. And if we've learned anything over the course of the last few seasons when it comes to concussion protocol, it's getting longer and longer and longer.
Yes.
I would be shocked if he plays. If he does play, fine, whatever. I would be shocked if he does play, personally. If he's on the concussion protocol and it's Thursday, my guess is he's probably sitting out. So that means Sam Darnold.
But Sam Darnold, I mean, as far as backup quarterbacks are concerned,
he's one of the better ones.
He's one of the better ones, man. It's not, and the Bengals don't. I mean, I don't believe in these kind of trends. Bengals don't have the best luck.
I know they don't. I know they don't. And I saw someone. It may have been Zim on Twitter. I don't remember who it was. Said something like, Sam Darnold starts on Sunday. I can guarantee you, it's either going to be a slaughter where he throws 4 interceptions and the Bengals defense looks great, or he's going to score, play the best game. He's got nothing to lose.
Put up personal record best.
Yep, yeah, that's the thing. He's got what
we all remember Mike White. Right. We all remember
exactly. He plays loose and free. What does he have to lose? It's not his job. You know what I mean? Just whatever. Go out there, have some fun. That's dangerous. It is. It's very dangerous. But here's the question. Here's my question for you. Sure. Who's more desperate? The team on the 2-game win streak that's 3-3, or the team that's 5-2 on a 2-game losing streak that's unhealthy, trying to limp to the bye? Who's more desperate? Tell me, Kevin.
I don't know about desperate. Let me phrase it this way. And maybe I'm projecting. I think the Bengals want it a little bit more because I feel like the NFC is an easier battleground. There is less panic at any individual loss. I think that because of where they're at, the 49ers, as long as they play pretty good football, they're pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot. And the Bengals are not in that position. So It's not even so much about the 2 losses versus 2 wins. I think it's more about how quickly the 49ers feel that they can stabilize as a franchise off of losses versus what the Bengals feel like they can do off of losses. And I think it's going to make us want it, maybe, or whatever, just a little bit more. But I kind of don't believe in all that stuff. I think every team wants it as much as they can.
They wouldn't be in the NFL. These players wouldn't be NFL players if they didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think they need exterior motivation very often.
Right.
You know what I mean? You put me out on that field, you're going to have someone with a cattle prod behind me to make me propel into another 300-pound man with my own face.
Sure.
Not happening. They do it willingly. They don't have to be motivated to win. That's built into those people. So, but I do think that.
Let me flip it back at you, though.
Yeah.
Kind of the same question. The Niners have lost 2 in a row. Yep. I see a lot of people talking about, oh, this makes them nervous.
Yes. I was one of them.
I know, but I don't really understand that. Yep. This team is no better or worse than they were 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, other than just getting on a roll and all that.
Yeah.
The fact that they've been beaten twice in a row means they're more beatable than we thought they were. They're not suddenly a better team or a bigger threat because they've lost more games.
Right.
I just feel like it's almost superstitious to be like, well, this got to be their comeback game. Like, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be their comeback game. They're gonna be a good team. They're gonna get it together. But
let me say this:
they're beatable now. We see that. We see their weaknesses.
So when I first saw that it was a game, I didn't watch the whole game, but when I first saw, oh man, this is a close game, I thought to myself, I don't want the Niners to lose. I don't want the Niners losing 2 games in a row and then coming home saying like, we got to defend. I don't want that. I think it makes them more, that's what I thought. I think I even told you that. But after thinking about it, let's say they had beat the Browns, right? And then they lost to the Vikings. I almost feel like that's worse for us. They lost to the Browns, and then they're like, all right, we lost our first game. We got out of our system. We're going to bounce back. Let's do it. But then they lose that game too. And maybe now they're saying, hey, is there something wrong? Like, is there something wrong?
Sure.
Like, is there a problem? Like, do we have a problem? Like, you know what I'm saying? And maybe it's not so much right now, hey, let's stop. Let's not turn this into a streak, because it is a streak. Maybe they're saying like, hey, hopefully there's not an issue that we don't know about. You know what I mean?
Sure. There's a lot of losses, not just the 2 losses on the field, but losing Williams and Debo, and now maybe their quarterback isn't playing. It's a lot of hits, and I can see what you're saying. And it could stack up on you. It could get you down a little bit. It could make you.
My whole thing is, if it's a league of parity, right? 100%. I mean, the whole league. That's the reason that it's so popular. Is they share, all these teams share everything. Nobody has a secret pile of money. Everyone has the same amount of money. Everybody has to spend a certain percentage of that same amount of money with the salary caps, revenue sharing. But that means that there's no such thing as a small market team like there is in baseball. Like when baseball starts, when the season starts, the Reds are already on the outside. Like the season's partially over for them. They made a run this year, and that's good. And they should make a run in the next couple of years. But that's an anomaly. Sure. You know what I mean? Like once those couple of years are done, they may disappear again for 15 years. But the NFL's not like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like any week, any team can win, and that's why it's so popular. You're never like, yes, there are bad teams, but there's never like our team's the worst team. Like this week they were. You know what I mean? But like, it's hard to lose 3 games in a row when you're a good team. It's hard to win 3 games in a row if you're bad. And I'm not saying the Bengals are bad. I'm just saying the Bengals should be winning multiple games in a row. And based on the injury report right now, they should win this game. I believe in them. I believe they should. I think they're going to come out and they're going to say, we had the bye week. We're fixed. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's do it. That's what I think is going to happen. Okay?
Yeah.
But I also think that the Niners have lost 2 games in a row. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be like Parody's going to want to make it so they don't go on a 3-game losing streak. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I get what you're saying, but I just don't believe that. I get what you're saying, like overall, but those statistics only matter before the season. Like any one game is not. That doesn't matter.
Right.
The game is still the game.
Right. I agree.
On a long enough timeline, it's going to work out. I always say, when you're trying to predict a schedule before, there's always going to be 1 or 2 games to lose that you should win. There's always going to be 1 or 2 games you should win that you're going to lose.
Yep.
And that all plays out across the whole season. But game to game, it is what it is. It's everybody on the field doing what they can do. I think the Bengals got it. You want to jump to commercial real quick, and then we'll go over just like matchups, predictions, what we think about how it's all going to fly?
Sounds good. Here we go. Eastgate Smiles Dental Care is a warm and welcoming environment where expertise and customer service come together. As a local business, they love helping their fellow Cincinnatians manage their oral health and achieve a perfect smile. They pair the latest technology with years of experience to give you a smile worth showing off. They are dedicated to quality and convenience and can even perform dental crown procedures the same day in most cases. You like your smile, but they are here to help you love it. They personalize your care and match your needs. Call them today at 513-528-1150 to learn what they can do for your pearly whites. All right, welcome back. So the Bengals take on the San Francisco 49ers out in the Bay Area. Talking matchups. Kevin, why don't you go first? What's the first matchup that pops in mind to you?
I want to see Trey Hendrickson continue on his streak. If that's against the backup, then it is. But, I mean, look, I don't want Trent Williams playing. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't want that. But that'll be a fun matchup, man.
Clash of the Titans. Williams
versus, I mean, really, Trey Hendrickson is on a tear. He might be having one of his best seasons of his career right now. I mean, I would love to see them two hammering at each other for 60 minutes. I think it could be a lot of fun. I really, really do. Trench play can sometimes be a little difficult to track, but I guarantee they're both going to be out on an island, just one-on-one. I don't know. I think it could be fun. I kind of hope
Trent Williams right now is playing, if he keeps this pace up, is very much going to be in the conversation for NFL defensive MVP at the end of the year. I mean, he's playing like crazy. I am absolutely thrilled to watch. What?
He's an offensive player.
What did I say? I'm sorry. Trent Hendrickson.
Okay, I didn't know what you were trying to say. I was like,
I'm sorry.
An offensive tackle was offensive player of the year. Is that even an option? I wasn't going to call you out on it, but I was like, okay. I guess I didn't realize how good he was playing.
No.
Wild.
No, sorry. Trey Hendrickson is absolutely like when you looked like surprised. I was like, "What? You know he is." No, Trey Hendrickson.
I get it.
He's on pace.
You imagine an offensive tackle getting offensive player?
No, I can't. I don't know what they'd have to do. Even if,
I don't either.
Even a season with no hurries, no sacks, it's still probably not possible.
Nah, so get like 2
you'd have to play tight end too, or play defense as well, something like that. Anyway. No, defensive MVP for Trey Hendrickson. That's how he's playing right now. It's like a clash of the Titans, the best against the best. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if he's going to play. I certainly think the 49ers are hoping he does. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So especially if Purdy does play. I'm expecting him not to play. But, the worst enemy of a backup quarterback's pressure. Absolute worst enemy is pressure. So, all right, I got one. And mine's kind of a twofer. It's both Bengals linebackers, Tremaine Pratt, Logan Wilson versus George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. Okay.
Yeah. You think they'll probably put Hill on
I think so.
Well,
but
I think it'll be fun.
We also have, I think, the best duo of coverage linebackers in the NFL in Wilson and Pratt. They're both very, very good at coverage. I'm assuming at a certain point they will be covering George Kittle, and George Kittle may not put up the stats that Travis Kelce does. He doesn't have those stats, but he is every bit as talented as any other tight end in the NFL. He's a great route runner. He's got great hands. He's fast. He can stretch the field. He's an incredible blocker. And, I mean, he's a Hall of Fame caliber player, whether he'll get there or not based on stats, I don't know, but he's a Hall of Fame caliber tight end.
He should be in the Hall of Fame at least. Yes. Yeah, numbers matter. I don't know what his numbers are across
the I don't know. But
he's been one of the top. Yes. Every year he's first, second, or third in your rankings.
If Travis Kelce didn't exist, George Kittle would be a household name. And I think he probably already is a household name. But he'd be like a George Kittle name. Taylor Swift and George Kittle would be dating if Travis Kelce didn't exist. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. Probably actually, I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know enough about Taylor Swift.
Yeah, me neither. So I like Taylor Swift. So yeah, but it's also Christian McCaffrey. Not only is he a good running back, right? Christian McCaffrey is just as good a receiver as anyone else on that team. Debo's going to be out. So I'm assuming that Debo's touches are going to be spread out mostly between McCaffrey and Kittle. The next two best players. And Ayuk's out there too.
Ayuk is no slouch, man.
Yeah. If you
he's on my fantasy team, I'm willing to tank this this fantasy round. I'm willing to do it. Zeros across the board.
Bench him.
Bench
him. Bench him for good luck. Are we playing against each other?
No, we're not.
Oh, okay. Well then,
I can't bench anybody. I've had the worst start. I'm coming back now because I like Jonathan Taylor, and there's a whole thing. But I'm coming back now. I'm 2 wins in. But man, I had a bad start to the season.
See, I lost the first 2 games of the season, and I've won 5 straight. On a roll. Anyway, but yeah, McCaffrey's just as big a receiver, just as good of a receiver as he's a runner. And while the safeties, Dax Hill, Nick Scott may cover Kittle more, it's going to fall a lot on the running backs, the linebackers to cover McCaffrey out of the backfield.
Yes, it is.
Past, the Bengals have had guys who were not up to the task. You know what I mean? They just were not. These 2 linebackers are the new generation of linebackers. Faster. Logan Wilson's a little bit smaller. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Rangier. You know what I'm saying? Luckily for them, they got a guy up in the middle eating all those blockers. Allows them to play free and smooth. Talking about DJ. So
never gets the credit he deserves.
No, he doesn't. All right. You got another matchup?
No, I mean, not necessarily a specific matchup. I do want to see how we shut down their wide receivers in their short game. I think that's going to be a overall problem. I'm not overly concerned. I think pressure is the name of the game as far as the Bengals winning this is concerned. I think it would be the same with Purdy. But either way, I think if we can make the quarterback uncomfortable, we can come away with a win on this. Mostly my head is it's not necessarily a matchup. It's just Burrow. He says he's 100%. He looks good. I mean, we've kind of seen, I thought he looked really, really great against the Cardinals. And then I thought he took a little bit of step back in the last game, second half. I don't know how much of that was nerves with Orlando Brown going out. I do think maybe he's developed a bad habit or two. He's gotten a little twitchy. He's gotten a little gun shy, which I think he can get over. But bye week, he's supposed to be 100%. This is the time where we really need to see it. I thought we saw it to a good extent versus the Cardinals, but it wasn't all the way there. I need to look at this offense, and I need to believe that they are as dangerous as we thought they could be. And with everything falling the way it's fallen, I think they could do it. I think they could be that team.
I think so too. So remember when Chase said, I don't want Burrow playing until the bye week? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Maybe that's the sign. Maybe bye's over. Burrow's back. Hopefully. We'll see. So, yeah, this is the Bengals are still in a big corner right now that they've put themselves in based on how the rest of the division is shaken out. You know what I mean? And they've said 100 times the easiest way to get into the playoffs is by winning the division. That's goal number 1. Win the division, host playoff game. You're guaranteed a spot. You know what I mean? If you don't win the division, nothing's guaranteed. You know, and this division in the AFC is good enough that if you don't win the division, you could have 13 wins maybe and not get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some teams that aren't as good as I thought they would be, but the teams that we really know, you know, the Bills, the Dolphins, it can only take one of those teams as a division winner. You know what I mean? Sure. The Ravens killing it right now. The freaking Browns.
Yeah, as far as the Browns,
that
their defense is wild.
A nightmare. That might be the best defense in the NFL.
It really might
Hands
be.
down.
This is a blind spot for me. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at talking about the Browns. I'm really not.
I'm not because I hate them for personal reasons.
And I just don't respect them. So I just always think we can win. I think we can beat them no matter what. I don't care. I know I know all the numbers. I know that they beat us more often than we beat them lately. I know it all. I can't change the way my brain works. And when I think of the Browns, I go, they're bad. And we can.
Yeah. I know. I hear it. I know. Trust me, man. I feel the same way. I do. But this is an important game. The Bengals got to get themselves out of this hole. To be back above 500 be huge.
Yeah.
They haven't been yet this season. So to have a winning record, 4-3, you know, and then you got the Bills who are also ailing. But that's, you know, you're coming home, prime time. You win that game, 5-3 in 2 games in a row. you beat the Niners, beat the Bills. That's when everybody says, "Oh, it's here.
Yeah.
It's here. They're back. They're back."
Yep.
And they're rolling again. Rolling again. So yeah. So let's do some predictions.
That is when I'll be comfortable. I'm on your predictions, but that is when I will be comfortable. I'm going to say it right now.
5-3. Okay.
2-game buffer. I want to win the next 2 games. I know that sounds like I'm asking a lot, but it's not, because I walked into this season believing this is a Super Bowl team, and I refuse to let that standard go until I'm absolutely forced to, because I do believe they can still do it. So I will be comfortable after the Bills game, and we're 5-3. I will settle down, and I will stop saying every game's a must-win. I will.
I want one question from you. I want to ask you one question before we go on to predictions. Okay.
Sure.
I do not mean to look ahead and disregard the Niners. Who scares you more? The Niners in their current state right now, or the Bills who are kind of struggling?
The Niners scare me more.
Okay. All right. I was just curious.
You know, we were going to whip them that one game, and then everything happened with Hamlin. Yeah. We whipped the crap out of the next game. They look like a worse team than they used to be. I just feel like matchup wise, the Niners are scarier than the Bills are. Despite their injuries, if we beat the Niners, I'm going to be pretty confident walking into this Bills game.
Okay, cool. I was just curious. All right, prediction time. Kevin, who scores first? How? Like, is it a touchdown? Blah blah blah, and then final score prediction and a game MVP.
First score, Christian McCaffrey. I think that the beginning of the game is going to be a bit of a grind back and forth. It's going to be a little bit, you always see that where it takes a little bit for the offenses and defenses to adjust to each other, and it's like a bit of a slog. And we're going to see McCaffrey bust one out for a touchdown. What else we got? You want to know final score?
Final
MVP,
score.
Right?
Yes.
Final score, I'm going 27-23. What?
Who?
Oh, Bengals. Okay. I think the Bengals can take this. I really do. I think we're on the way up. I think the Niners are having issues. I think those trends continue. And I think the Bengals take this. But 27-23. So it's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to 1 or 2 final drives. It's going to be a nail biter the whole time. And the MVP is going to be Joe Burrow. He is back. He is going to have, I'm calling this part now, just to make, will it into existence, rushing touchdown. And not from the first. Not from like a 1 yard line. Not from 1 yard line. He's going to rush for at least a first down's worth, at least 10.
Nice.
He's going to be back. He's going to be mobile. He's going to be making people miss all over the place. It's going to be glorious, and we're all going to be talking about Joe. It's all you're going to see, talking heads all over the place. Are the Bengals back? Is Joe Burrow back? It's going to be the week's news by how well he plays.
Okay. I do want to say, I feel that we've disrespected someone that I do want to mention. Orlando Brown Jr. versus Nick Bosa. That's going to be a tough matchup. Nick Bosa is a hell of a defensive end. He's a great pass rusher.
Weirdly similar situations, because Orlando Brown, I think he's going to play, but he's also he's going to play, not 100% guaranteed to play.
He's got the groin injury. I think he's going to play. I just don't think he's going to be quite 100%. But Nick Bosa is one of those guys that requires somebody to be, hey, every play I'm coming, every play. So, all right. So prediction-wise, I think the Bengals score first, and I think it's going to be T. Higgins. I think they're going to force the issue. I think they want
comeback game a little
bit.
bit.
Yes.
Is that where your head's at?
Yes,
finally gets
I
it right?
do. Yep. I think the score is going to be 24-20. Bengals. I think the MVP is going to be Joe Burrow. I do. I don't think rushing touchdown, but I think he's going to have 3 passing touchdowns, 300 plus yards passing, and just a really solid, good game. Or like you said, he's moving, sliding, looks back to himself. What I'd really like to see is between drives them not focusing on his calf. I'd like to see between drives him just sit there.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think if he's 100%, I think they're going to do it for no reason other than to keep doing it for at least the next 3 to 5 games. And you're right. Maybe this just continues all season, because why not?
Maybe.
Why not keep it loose? It doesn't hurt nothing.
Yep, it doesn't. All right. You got anything else?
No, I think that's it. I'm willing into existence the Burrow rushing touchdown. Think about it, man. We haven't seen him 100%, right?
Nope.
We schemed this up. He wouldn't see it coming. If you want to bust out a schemed run play for Joe Burrow, against the Niners would be the perfect time. No one's going to see it coming. We need to mix it up a little bit to win. I see it happening, but that's it.
I hope it does happen. Be awesome. So on my fantasy team, man, I'm starting them.
Oh, what, Burrow?
Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm going to. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in. Again, I'm Jason. That's Kevin. We are 3 and Out on the Orange and Black Insider. Check us out on YouTube, Orange and Black Insider on YouTube. Check us out anywhere you can get podcasts. It's not just us. It's us. It's Chalk Talk. It's Coach Speak. It's OBI. It's Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. It's new content every single day. I think one of the best Bengals channels you could possibly download on YouTube or wherever. There's new stuff every day. A lot of great, insightful things, interviews.
The sheer quantity, you're going to find something that appeals to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and if it's not us,
it's weird you listen to the whole thing and got
no, here. It's not us.
But hate views or views.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Again, thank you very much for watching. We are brought to you by CincyJungle.com, SB Nation Cincinnati Bengals site. We are sponsored by Eastgate Smiles Dental Care. The Bengals take on the Niners. I'm excited. I'm excited. I think we're going to come back next week. I think we're going to have a happy show. Tune in next time. Who day?
Who day?
That's great!